So I want to give people this idea that that's not okay and that they deserve more and they can actually self-actualize into the person they want to be and go after it by doing that. I mean, by actually asking for it.
Welcome back to another episode of The Burn. I am Ben Newman, and you guys know how we do this every single week. You're going to get a story of an athlete, an entertainer, an author, a celebrity, somebody performing at their highest possible level, talking about the burn that lies inside of them that ignites their why and their purpose, that then causes them to be disciplined in their daily action with great consistency. That's what it takes to perform at the highest level. And then sometimes we throw curveballs or we do special episodes. And this is one of those special episodes because many of you probably remember Jennifer Cohen from when I was in LA. I had the opportunity to be on her show, Habits and Hustle. She came on The Burn, and it was an unbelievable day that we spent filming. The energy was on fire. Then she joined our Mental Toughness Forum. So you know about her burn. You know about her passion. It's why she's been ranked one of the most impactful fitness entrepreneurs, top 100 in the world. It's why you know about her books. It's why her TED video has almost 5 million views. So, of course, when Jen comes out with her brand new book, Bigger, Better, Bolder, dropping on December the 27th, we had to have Jen back for a special episode to hear all about the book and to bring you up on the fact that Jen has not slowed down. If anything, she's going faster than ever to continue to make an impact. So my friend Jen Cohen, welcome back to The Burn.
My gosh, what an intro, Ben. I'm going to come back all the time with that type of intro. Thank you. I love being back. It's great to see your smiley face. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much for making the time. I know how crazy it is with a book launch. This is not your first book, but I know that you are so excited about everything that has gone into Bigger, Better, Bolder. Why are you so excited about this particular book?
Because in my opinion, it all starts with being bold, right? To get to any success or any achievement or any goal, you need to start with like a kernel of something. And what that kernel to me is the ability to go after and chase what you want, not just take what you get. And in this book, I really describe it and use myself as the guinea pig of how I did it and like my process. Because the truth of the matter is, I'm not a big believer in talent necessarily or brilliance. I'm a believer in people putting in the work and acting and moving and doing and figuring it out as they go. And the truth of the matter is people who really succeed to great heights in life, in my experiences, what I've seen from myself, from my friends, from people I've interviewed on my podcast, it's them being bold, not being brilliant. And that is a message that is so ingrained in my DNA. That's my philosophy. And I want to basically explain and show people that they can get out of their own way if they feel that they're not good enough, if they have self-doubt, and if they feel they're not talented enough or not smart enough. That's all okay if they can really harness this skill of being bold.
I absolutely love it. And I love that I got an advanced copy. See, when you're friends with the author, you get the advanced copy. So that was exciting for me. I want to kind of couple together a question of something specific from the book on the 10% target. But before we get there, what I would love to ask, if you're open to doing it, and I guess we're running live here, so we can't cut it out now. But before we hit record, you and I were chatting about the chaos that comes with a book launch. And one of the things I recognized in you describing what you're going through is you haven't stopped doing the other things that you do, everything that you pour your energy into your podcasts and your life and speaking and being an amazing mom and wife. And so you're still doing all those things. You haven't stopped those. So how important is it to be bold that you have to tap into your capacity, which I know speaks to that 10% target, which we'll get to. But how important is it to not say, oh, because I'm busy here, I'm going to stop doing these things? Isn't that part of being bold, really finding out what you're made of and what you can handle?
Well, absolutely. And I'm a big believer, and I do talk about this all the time, is that something in motion stays in motion, right? So that's why when someone you give something that if you need something done, you give it to a busy person, right? You don't give it to someone who's not doing anything and sitting on the couch if you want that thing to be accomplished. So I think life happens, right? And the truth is, this pre-launch, people don't know what they don't know, right? Most people don't write books, they don't know. But the reality is, like, all the work is really in the front end. Before the book even comes out is where all the work really is put in. The book launch, because you want people to know about it, you need to talk to people, you need to do podcasts, you need to do interviews, you need to do all sorts of different things. And it's difficult because you only have so many hours in the day, and you have to try to be as efficient as possible, especially if when you do have other businesses like it started that being on social media became someone's extra full-time job. So now you have to have two full-time jobs, social media and the job that you do. And then when you do a book, it's like a third full-time job. So, I think that you have to be able to, pivot and move and do things all when you have to, but at the same time, there's something about being deliberate and being focused. If you want something to be done really well, you can only do that for a finite period of time. And then you got to put systems in place and put rituals and routines in place for you to be able to be successful and for you to be able to have the output and productivity that you want. So that to me that's what it's about. And I mean, even in this book, I talk about that. Like, in order for you to get from A to B to C to D, it's very important to have these rituals and systems that are on autopilot. So you have this energy allocation theory that I talk about, which is if you want to have the most energy output, that is the most that will get you to where you need to be, put things on autopilot that are not that you can put on autopilot. So those other things that you can focus on and really go after.
I absolutely love that. And I just want to drop this really quick because I know when your team mentioned it, I wished that I was going to be in LA on January the 10th, but it's incredible that Barnes & Noble at the Grove is actually doing a special book launch event for you. So that's on January the 10th for our listeners that are in LA. And that's what I think is so unique is people who are going to pick up a copy then, or everybody, all our listeners, you better pick up a copy well before then online, because the book really is incredible. And you know me, I'm an action-based person. And so there's so many people that talk about how great they want to be. Then we have a conversation with their action and we find out how bad they really want it. And I think Emily Morse in her testimonial to the book really captured so uniquely what makes you you. And she says that there's no one I know in this universe who can teach you how to go after what you want more than Jennifer Cohen. If you want practical and actionable steps that work, then hands down, this is the book for you. And that's what I love about the book is that it's the actionable items. It's you're not just talking to talk, you're going to show people. And so tell us the importance of the 10% target. I know that's one of the actionable items. That's something that you uniquely and specifically talk about often. Tell us about the 10% target.
So most people don't even go after what it is that they want because there's a fear of failure, right? They're scared of rejection. They're afraid of failing. And how I look at failure is an attempt. That's just your first attempt. It's your second attempt, your third attempt. So if you reframe what you think failure is, and then you become immune to it, it's much easier to go after something. And so my entire thing about the 10% target is giving people something where they get comfortable with the process and get comfortable with that failure and turn it into an attempt. So the 10% target is making 10 attempts at whatever you want most in life. And the truth of the matter is, you may not even, I'm just going through that, you may not even get to the goal that you want in those 10 attempts, but I promise you, you either will get to that goal or another opportunity will present itself that you never even knew existed by going through the process. You need to become desensitized to that fear of failing and change it in your brain to what it really means. And so in this book, I mean, I'm a big believer, like you, in action. And a lot of times people talk from their ivory tower of like, be successful, leadership, and all these things, but then there's nothing really that you can hold on to that's tangible, that you can actually implement and integrate to create that. And so for me, it was super important to give people these actionable things that they can do, these bold moves, these bold things daily, where they can actually become bolder, because we're not all born bold, but everyone can become bold if they actually implement and practice. And that's really the entire reason why I'm even writing the book, or wrote the book, I should say.
Which I think is really unique. The points that you're making really speak to one of the things that I love that you discuss, which is not just taking what's handed to you, but taking what's available to you, right? So making the most of the opportunities that are out there that some people, what do you find? They don't go looking for them. They stop before they get to it. What do you find is most important for going and finding what's available to you?
Most people acquiesce to what's in front of them, and they take and accept what's available instead of chasing what it is that they actually truly want in life. So the idea of this good enough, like, oh, this is good enough. Like, the person I'm with, they asked me out, so I'll go out with them. I'll get married and have a family with them, and it's good enough. Like, how many times have you spoken to people and you're like, how's your relationship? And they're like, yeah, it's okay. How's your career? Yeah, it's okay. Like, there's no excitement or exuberance, or it's always very like, there's a feeling a lot of times where it's just good enough, or they settled for what it's in front of them. So I want to give people this idea that that's not okay, and that they deserve more, and they can actually self-actualize into the person they want to be and go after it by doing that. I mean, by actually asking for it. It's actually not rocket science, Ben. Most of this is not rocket science. Most of this is just doing it. And we are our own worst enemies. And what we end up doing is we think of all the things that can go wrong, and so we don't even try, versus thinking of all the things that can go right and make that attempt. So it really is that simple if people actually have the desire and the want to try and do it.
So to be bigger, better, and bolder, I love your energy. I love the points, and I agree. I mean, people who I have the opportunity to coach and spend time with, it really is simple. It's regardless of your feelings. Something bad happens, you got to show up and do the work. Something amazing happens, you have the greatest result you ever could have imagined. You have to show up and do the work the next day. Otherwise, you're not going to experience that feeling again. So it's that standard piece. But one of the things that I love when I think about your teaching and your work and this idea of being bold is not just settling, right? It's continuing to know that you have to continue to be bold. And that means you have to continue to live to that standard and do the work. How much of your life in fitness, right? When you think about getting in shape and books that, like, when you started and that's where you were recognized, and now it's coaching, speaking to influence corporations and people around the world. How much have you seen things remain the same? And I think we know the answer, but I want people to hear it, to where fitness was all about those habits and disciplines, and then to remain bold in the corporate world. And then how important is it for people to still do both, right? Kind of back to that. It's not one or the other. It's taking care of yourself and then knowing that you can still achieve, in the corporate world as well, in the entrepreneurial space.
Fitness, in my opinion, is a microcosm for the world around us, right? It really is like just the foundation, the fundamentals and life skills that I learned from the fitness business has given me those same life skills to succeed and go after it in my personal life and my professional life, right? Because fitness teaches you perseverance, right? If you want to get to a goal, you need to keep on going. And you may not get to that goal. It may take a lot of time. So patience. So there's perseverance, there's patience. Like I said, there's goal setting and discipline. These are all things that are fundamentally crucial for you to become whoever you want to be in other areas of your life. And to me, that's why fitness to me is a major healthy habit, or a habit and part of a system and a ritual to keep you on point to be productive in any area of your life. And it's really, I give it a lot of credit to why I've been successful in other areas of my life as well. I mean, it's not about, fitness to me isn't about just doing a lunge and a squat. It's all about, it teaches you a mental toughness. I thought you'd like that. A mindset, right? A mindset. The cognitive abilities, like the focus, the fact that like you're the focus, the being more alert, being much more on point is all because of that fitness background that I had. And that's why I urge everybody, if you're not doing that daily to some capacity, you are really missing out on all the other aspects. And so don't think of fitness in a myopic way. Expand your mind and think of all the other things that you can gain from it.
All right, I've got to mention something. You might be upset with me for mentioning this, but I am going to mention this because I think it's really important, and you don't hear this often from authors. So first off, once again, the book Bigger, Better, Bolder drops December the 27th. So make sure that everybody, you pick up your copy of the book. I'm telling you, you are going to love the book. One of the things that the book is that we're living in this world where everybody's waiting on the sidelines to see what's going to happen. And this is going to empower you to take that action every single day to go make it happen, to live this bigger, better, bolder life that you can have when you choose to take action. How much do I know Jen Cohen believes in this message? So this was not in any notes that I got from your team or anything, but you impressed me when you said this. I know what a speaker like you demands to show up to an event in a virtual world or showing up in person. And one of the things that made me realize how excited you are about this book and to share this message to help people be their best is the fact that you are waiving speaking fees for the opportunity while the launch of the book is taking place in order to do bulk book sales, in order to speak. And here's what blows me away about this. I've had a contract with one of the top 5 publishers in the world. I've had publishing we don't make a lot of money on books. People think that we make all this money on books. We do. An author does not make a lot of money on books. So for you to say that, I know that your heart and passion is in this book. So tell us a little bit about your decision to say, I have got to get this book in people's hands.
Well, first of all, I want people to listen and hear the message. I'm so passionate about what I'm saying that it's not about money. I don't really care about the money. I want people, I want to inspire anybody who's listening to this to actually read the book. And if I inspire 2 people or 1 person, I made a difference. Because like I said, I think that we are our own worst enemy, and we get in our own way more than anyone else. And if people can maybe read and realize that, like, I'm no great shakes. I was just an average kid, I wasn't exceptionally athletic. I wasn't exceptionally talented. I wasn't exceptionally smart, but I used these principles and it changed my life. And also it changed how I thought about life, and how I showed up in life. And if I can do it, you can do it. And that's really what I want to really get out there to the world. And I don't care if I make $0 on it. And that's why I offer that.
Well, Jen, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate your energy, your authenticity, the message in the book. I love the timing of the book. This book coming out December the 27th, when people, as I mentioned, they have those fears, those doubts, those uncertainties, they're scared. And here comes 2023. And some people are just frozen in time, wondering, are they ready? You are ready, and everything is in you to attack what's in front of you. And I believe this book does this for you. So any last words about the book, any thoughts, anything you want people to know? And don't forget, if you are in LA, make sure to go to the book event, Barnes & Noble at the Grove, on January the 10th. I know that's going to be an incredible launch. I mean, the last launch was Channing Tatum and now Jen Cohen. So I know it's going to be big. I know it's going to be fun. I'm just upset that I'm going to miss being there for it. So Jen,
I wish you were. I wish you were.
What final thoughts about the book, and where can people learn more about you?
Well, they can go and follow me. They can find me on Instagram, The Real Jen Cohen. I'm on TikTok. I'm everywhere, YouTube, wherever people normally are found. My website, Jennifer Cohen. They could go to my website and they can sign up and subscribe to a newsletter that that they can receive every week in their inbox. And I think I'm going to be doing my own masterclass pretty soon. But about the book, I just want people to really feel, like I said, that it's possible that they can harness the skill of being bold. They can, if they can just get the courage to do tomorrow what they can't do today by implementing some of the things that I talk about in the book. So.
Well, thank you so much for joining us again on The Burn. Now you guys see why I loved having her on The Burn the first time. Now you can see why we had to have Jen Cohen as a closing speaker on our first ever Mental Toughness Forum this year. And so, Jen, I'm so excited for you in the book launch. The message is amazing. It's going to impact so many people. And just thank you for showing up the way that you do in life and for being a great example for all of us.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it so much. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And so this is The Burn. You know how we do it every single week. You're getting these stories. You're getting this energy. And we hope, individuals like Jen and I, that you realize that everything you need is already in you. So stay connected to that fire. Stay connected to that burn. And make sure you're challenging yourself to grow every day. Having great books, bigger, better, bolder, the opportunity to learn that we're never finished is what life is all about. So we appreciate you. Happy New Year. Happy holidays to everybody. Lots of love. And we'll see you in The Burn in 2023.